Sophie, the Championship season starts in 2 weeks' time. At the start of every season, we sit down, we talk about Coventry City, and I feel like we're always saying the same stuff. We're pushing for promotion, we're going to do it eventually. To be fair, we have been getting close, and we've hit the playoffs twice in the last 3 years, and an FA Cup semi-final. But what makes you feel different that this could be Coventry's year, as opposed to previous seasons?
I don't know, to be honest. You just look at the opposition and you think, is it a slightly weaker year? You think, well, there's been a lot of change in certain teams that have been relegated. So obviously certain teams look strong as always, but I don't know. We're getting closer and closer, and I feel like playoffs needs to be the minimum this year.
I was going to say, if Coventry finish 7th this season, that's really bad. I just think it's got to be at least the playoffs every season now. I take your point on board that the relegated teams, it's a weird one this season, Sophie, because Leicester City, they come down with financial problems and a possible points deduction, which is good for Coventry. Sheffield United are still here, though. That's annoying.
They're still looking strong.
Ipswich and Southampton, you'd imagine, will be strong. And then you've got Birmingham and Wrexham coming up. I did say this towards the end of last season, Sophie, that yes, Leeds and Burnley were absolute monsters, but I think the average team is going to be stronger in this season coming as opposed to last season. And I think that does create a bit of a problem for Coventry, because I know everyone's optimistic, but we've been looking at quite a few different people's predictions, and a lot of West Brom fans think they're going to sneak into the playoffs this year. Norwich fans are thinking the same. Middlesbrough fans with Rob Edwards and Adi Vivash. I don't know if Wrexham are going to be competing, but there's plenty of teams that are going to want to be involved. QPR, Millwall, Swansea. It's not easy just to secure a playoff place for Coventry now as well. That's the other thing.
No, it's not. I get what you're saying. Some of the promoted teams, they're looking quite strong. I just feel like with Leicester looking like they're going to get hit with a points deduction, Southampton, and change manager as well. Southampton changed manager. Ipswich, they do look pretty strong, and you've already mentioned Sheffield United. So I do think that automatics is going to be virtually impossible this season. But there's going to be so many teams fighting for the playoffs. I just think it could boil down to championship experience, playoff experience, and I think we're doing all right with that, to be fair, because we've been flirting around the playoffs in seasons that we've not been in it. We're finishing the playoffs a couple of times, once with Frank, and then with Robbins as well. But yeah, I as I've already said, I do think that we need to be aiming for the playoffs. I do want to see a couple more people through the door so that I feel more confident in the squad. I like a centre-back, an experienced centre-back. Also a loan signing or a proper signing of a goalkeeper. That's the key areas for me. Obviously, we've been seeing some of the pre-season games and we're not exactly scoring goals either, so maybe a man up top, but maybe I'm asking for a little bit too much right now.
Yeah, I completely agree with what you're saying, Sophie, because I think there's going to be Coventry fans watching this right now saying, well, let's not concern ourselves with what the other teams are doing. Why don't we try and focus on what we're doing right now, and reasons to be optimistic. One of them being the fan base is always growing. It looks like another sellout in terms of season tickets. Speaking of which, the individual home tickets have caused some controversy recently, the prices of those. But the fan base, Frank Lampard, bear in mind Frank Lampard's record last season, since he came in, Coventry performed like the 4th best team in the Championship. Yeah. And if we start well this season, then I think we've got a real chance of, doing something, because it's the slow starts that always kill us. And to be fair to us, we're really good at a comeback. Being 17th at Christmas, we're good at zooming up towards the playoffs, but we can't keep doing that. And then, it comes down to the transfer business, which I think so far isn't terrible. Miguel Angel Brau and Kane Kessler-Hayden, they're good signings. And to be fair, we haven't seen anyone go.
Yet.
We expect one maybe, as long as it's not Radoni. I'm happy. It could be Milan, which is obviously quite sad, but we've now replaced him, if that makes sense. And Carl Rushworth is the goalie we're currently being linked with.
We need to see that over the line.
We need a goalie, because obviously I love Dovin. He's our number one. He's out until, bear in mind, probably about Christmas. But then it takes a couple of months to get him back up to speed to get into games, because obviously the difference with ACL injuries, Sophie, with a keeper and an outfield player is an outfield player can be eased back in for the last 20 minutes of the game. A keeper is probably going to start a game, so we might not see anything of him until about February.
Yeah.
I don't trust Wilson or Collins to be the long-term solution. No. So we need a goalie. And then with the strikers, it's a difficult one because we have got two players that have proven they can get goals. It's just the inconsistency.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes it's just the attitude of them and the body language where you feel like they're too big physical players. Obviously, we're talking about Sims and Hadji Wright, but they're two physically big players where they should be causing defenders issues with just their presence, and neither of them do it. And sometimes when you really need them, they both go missing. So I'm hoping that if we're going to be sticking with them this season, which looks like we are, I hope that they turn up. I think that'll be good this season.
We need them to. And obviously, we'll bear in mind that Hadji Wright did have an injury last season, which affected his performance and his outlet. So the final thing to wrap it up, Sophie, because obviously we've got our Championship predictions coming out tomorrow, by the way. I, once again, feel fairly confident Coventry will make the playoffs and at a minimum compete for them. Imagine, like, the thing is as well, you've got to bear in mind expectations, how much they've changed. A couple of years ago when we were in League Two, imagine like thinking to ourselves, we'd be thinking if we don't make the Championship top 6 in a few years, that's a failure. It shows how far we've come.
Yeah, we have.
But you do wonder how many years can you keep getting close without going up until something might happen which reverses your fortunes. Because let's say Coventry don't go up this season and then maybe just don't go up the next season, and maybe one of our best players goes. Doug King could go at some point. Frank Lampard could go, and it's not impossible that in a couple of years' time the fortunes of the club could genuinely start reversing. And I don't want to be all doom and gloom, because at a time of such positivity you don't want to hear that, but that's why I'm saying to get promoted is so important. We need to try and do it soon, because we need that money, the parachute payment money, which will make us a stronger Championship team, which will always give us a better chance of returning. I think the way we've grown as a club in terms of selling, buying and then selling for more, I mean, it's been brilliant. I want to get up, and I just want to taste Premier League football. We were 2 or 3 years old when we got relegated. What are you saying? It's got to be playoffs this time. Yeah,
it's got to be playoffs, and maybe we're going to just seem like we're massively biased Coventry fans, but I feel like a lot of people in their predictions will have Coventry City in and around the playoffs. I just feel like the expectations, we've not spent massive amount of money this season, but we've also not had a lot of outgoings, so obviously you can't spend too much if you're not selling players. It looks like Milan's going to Turkey, weirdly enough, which I don't think will get as much money than if he was staying in English football, especially if it was the Premier League. You'd probably get more money for him then. But if we get that money, we've already got his position covered. We probably need a decent backup, because we've got an alright squad depth at the moment, but as I've already mentioned, I would like to strengthen in a few key areas, and then I'll be a lot more confident of us getting the playoffs.
Yeah, so that's it. I mean, guys, do share your thoughts down below, Coventry fans. We'll try and be positive. Looking forward to seeing all your faces when we go back to the CBS in just a couple of weeks' time. I, for one, can't wait. I just want expectations to be level-headed. There's nothing wrong with being optimistic, but I think the club have been selling the dream a little bit recently. Dream big with Premier League packages, and we're still not quite getting up. But I do have high expectations nonetheless that we can make the playoffs at a minimum. And let's start well. Let's start the season well. Our first few games are not impossible. Let's try and start well. Drop a like, subscribe, share your thoughts on Coventry City in the upcoming season down in the comments. Play up Sky Blues. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.